heck?
Well, anyway, the king of the streamers is, of course, a guy by the name of Asmongold, or as we call him, Asmonkampf. He's somehow getting worse by the day, bro. He is somehow getting worse by the day. I mean, he started gargling Trump's nuts not that long ago. He, of course, said some casually genocidal shit about Palestinians, which was like the first political comments that I saw that came onto my radar. Well, now he's trying to find a way to go even lower than that. So talking about the Iran war, and he says this.
Sounds going nuts about a school getting bombed. Oh, a school got bombed? Yeah, I didn't see that. I mean, again, any time that I hear somebody trying to cry and get upset about like, oh my God, Israel and America bombed a school, Iran killed thousands of their own people, and
Iran killed thousands of their own people, so we should be allowed to bomb their elementary schools? You might want to like workshop some of this shit before you go on air and start babbling, you unwashed fuck.
So, yeah, I mean, if a school gets bombed and kids get killed, it's sad. It's obviously a tragedy, but it's collateral damage in a war, and
It's sad, it's an obvious tragedy, but it's collateral damage in a war. Saying it's collateral damage implies it was a mistake. What we now learned is it wasn't a mistake. It was a Tomahawk missile that specifically targeted that building. We are now double digits when it comes to hospitals and schools that have been hit. At some point, you got to go, you know what? I think this is on purpose. I think this is the point. I think terrorizing the civilians is the point. This is why I can't stand these sorts of people, is they never stop for 1 second to think, hold on, what if we actually are the baddies? It never occurred to him. What if our intent is actually not pure and it's not good? What if it has nothing to do with freedom and democracy and liberty and like, you know, spreading the proper values? What if we actively want a broken region of the world, a failed state, warlords to gain control, open slave markets, and that makes it so there is no regional adversary for Israel and they could take over the entire area? What if that's exactly what's going on here? And it would never occur to him, ever, in a million years, because, you know, we're us, and we're good, because we're us.
I don't think Asmongold thinks about it that much. I think he just literally turns around and finds like the maximum bad guy position and just goes along with it. Like, I think that's his... Like, it's very obvious that there's a market for this, and there are a lot of people who want to justify this cruelty, and he will be a willing servant of those people. He's realized that as long as he leans into whatever the administration is saying, no matter how heinous, he'll have support. Of course, the issue for him is he doesn't realize that the type of guy that wants to hear from Asmongold is increasingly more mad at the administration for going to war with Iran because of Israel. If he wanted to present himself as a bold truth teller, he would probably take an anti-Iran position. I mean, anti-Israel position, sorry. But he's not taking that position right now because he thinks like this is the better lane. He's so fucking gross though.
but it's collateral damage.
And yeah, that's the thing, is that these people are just think that they're hollow inside, and you know, my mother, my late mother, she passed in 2020, but we had kind of grown apart, especially the last couple of years, because she just really became, you know, and she had never been like that before. Like she, you know, I hate to put it this way, but she voted for Obama twice, but then suddenly, I don't know what it, you know, I don't know what it is exactly, but she became part of the Trump cult, and I can't discount the fact that she lived a very tragic life in many ways and died a very tragic death, and you know, I mean, you know, it's, you know, and I think that's exactly who they're targeting, is people who have been broken down by life and are looking for something, anything to hold on to, you know, and they just, and it becomes their tribe, and God, it's such a destructive force, but I'm gonna go ahead and let them finish. Excuse me.
damage in a war, and it's inevitable, number one.
It's inevitable to bomb an elementary school. It's inevitable to bomb double-digit hospitals and schools. Inevitable. You know, it's like a hurricane. It's like a tornado. It's like just like an act of nature. There's nothing we could do. I mean, it is what it is, right? Like, it just happens. You know, you wake up. Sometimes you wake up and you go, oops, did I bomb an elementary school and kill little girls? Tee-hee-hee. It happens. Just like you got to wake up and you got to go take a piss. Sometimes you wake up and you press a big red button and you murder an elementary school full of kids.
And number two, you know, if they didn't want that to happen, maybe they shouldn't have been funding terror groups and antagonizing a world superpower like America.
I didn't know that the elementary school was doing that. That's kind of crazy. The elementary school was doing that? That's crazy. See, I thought they were just little kids that were going and learning. That's what I thought.
Yeah, the IRGC generals that are 6 years old at the elementary school, you know, they are the ones who have control over. They are the ones who have control over the levers of power in Iranian society.
Like if you, and this is what I think is ridiculous, right? Is that how is it that you can antagonize somebody for so many years and then they attack you back and now you're the victim?
That is fucking hilarious because the only people antagonizing are Israel. And it's always been.
I know you haven't addressed him on stream lately, but his insane rhetoric on his stream has ramped up so much lately. His comments on Zoran were insanely racist. I didn't... Like, some of his idiotic baby tantrums make their way to my timeline, and when I see it, I'll just, you know, call him I'll say he's like Asmon cattle, or I'll say, like, we should draft Asmongold to fight in the war or whatever. But I don't really hear from him that much, and I kind of like it. Burnt Peanut just roasted my country of Cuba again, and he wishes all the Cuban diaspora the worst. Okay, why the fuck are you watching Burnt Peanut, brother? What the fuck? I mean, there's a lot of chuds. There's a lot of hogs. His father would be disgusted by this now. Yeah, but it's, you know, there's no one holding him back at this point. He says Zoran is not American. Right-wing account clipped
As we spend more
Asmongold goes nuclear on New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani in his base. He puts his identity and faith over America. We've imported millions who don't assimilate. Drain taxes, vote tribe loyalty, fix, denaturalize and deport every single one of the recent immigrants. Things would be way better without them.
we will see that people like Zoran Mandami are fundamentally not Americans. They don't identify as an American. They don't put their country first. They put their ethnicity first. They put their religion first, and they do not put their country first. People like this have no position in power. And ultimately, I don't really think Zoran is the problem. I think it's the fact that we have imported a bunch of people who, based off of an ethnic, racial, and religious basis, have voted him into this position are the problem. And I think that we need to systematically denaturalize and deport every single one of them. That's what I think that we need to do.
It's so fun. Yeah, Twitch TOS is decoration for the stream, you know? I mean, that's crazy. What are we doing? He's just out here straight up doing Nazi propaganda, bro. Yeah, Zoran, who is one of the most popular politicians in the country right now, you know, overseeing the lives of everyday Americans to the tune of 14 million people in New York City, which he is the mayor of, is actually not putting Americans first. And he was only allowed into the country because there is an ethnic need. Is he evil and uneducated? Yes, he is both evil and uneducated. I don't really like saying he's evil, though, because he kind of gets off on that, I think. He's just a fucking loser. That's what it is. He's just a fucking friendless loser who people don't even want to be around for the most part. And he'll turn around and say this is like ad hominem or some shit, but it's because he has a repulsive ideology. And the only people, it's not an accident, the only people that want to fucking farm clout off of his ass are also disgusting monsters. Like, half of his fucking best friends are outed as like rapists and pedophiles and lolly enjoyers. Like, he's just a repulsive guy surrounded by also repulsive people. And it's because he wants to fucking farm people's approval. And he realizes that this is the easiest way to farm approval. There are a lot of fucking disgusting losers on the internet who are rudderless, who are angry, like don't really know what they're angry at. And they're very malleable. They're very easy to manipulate. And Asmongold can do that by engaging with them with the lowest common denominator propaganda, where he can just sit there. He can just fucking sit there and be like, yeah, Zoran Mamdani is actually disgusting and un-American, and act as though he's making like a coherent argument. And some people actually like that open bigotry. They're nasty pieces of shit for the most part. Asmongold certainly is a bad person. Definitely a bad person. can't actually maintain an audience playing Dark Souls 2, rage quit the game, or Dark Souls 3, forget which one it was. That's what started his like villain arc, because people were like dunking on him. His gamers were making fun of him, and he couldn't handle the heat. So he realized like, oh, I can get the admiration of these douchebags by leaning into their frustrations and redirecting their animosity to vulnerable populations by heightening, white supremacist tensions in the country. And that's what it is. His villain arc, $10 says you can't redeem him. What do you mean? There's no redemption for this guy. Asmongold says he'll never attend another streamer event or collab with Twitch streamers again. I'm basically racist against Twitch streamers. I have no problem doing a collab stream with Clavicular. So you're saying this is literally From Software's fault? No, it's because he's a weak and insecure man. He's a weak man and very desperate for
Dime store Jared Leto.
Admiration.
All these immigrants that have come over here recently, they haven't assimilated. They're costing taxpayers money.
Like saying Zoran Mamdani is an immigrant that hasn't assimilated to the region is so funny, because if you were to put Asmongold on one side and Zoran Mamdani on the other side, just on paper of like and put their achievements across, right? 34-year-old guy who became the mayor of New York City by running objectively an American first campaign, like a campaign that said no to foreign interference, saying no to Israel, something that Asmongold even at the time gave credit to, a campaign that said we can take money away from some of the wealthiest subsects of society and give it back to the working class that want to live in the city, that play a major role in building this beautiful city. That guy is less American than a monstrous cancer sore that never leaves his house and wastes away in toxic sludge, and is not really a part of normal functioning society at all, and just constantly is just hyping up racial agitation. Like, I wonder which one is more American than the other, you know? He's like a fucking living skid mark, and he's talking shit about, again, the mayor of New York City. It's not a surprise that the majority of his audience are fucking Euroid neo-Nazis who love LARPing as MAGA, as opposed to someone like myself, where most of my audience is American, you know? Obviously, on the aesthetic front, you know, who's more American? Oh, the patriot. Who's more patriotic? The racist, right? That's the attitude that a lot of people have, but that's obviously not the case. He has a bunch of IT neo-Nazi shut-ins from like the Netherlands and shit tuning in to be like, yeah, we are MAGA too, yeah. We are MAGA too. We love Donald Trump. Like that's his entire community. That's his entire audience. He has the same chud takes of dudes that would make fun of him in public. He's literally just 4chan in human form. Yeah, I mean, he is just disgusting. He's like a fucking human skin tag. I don't know what else to say.
They all need to go, in my opinion. I think all of them need to go. And if that happened, I think that things would be a lot better overall, right? They would definitely be a lot better. As we spend more time.
Yeah, no, definitely. Asmongold.
I can't imagine how hollow inside you have to be filled up with that much shit. It's a tragedy, you know.
Goes nuclear on New York City Mayor Mamdani. All right, I gotta fucking respond to this. I gotta hit something here. I have to type some shit up here, you know? Bro, people aren't Nazis, you crazy guys. You guys, all people say it's creates what division is, separates, and it's pure hate. Come on, guys, stop using that word. It's silly. Why, lol? Bro, chat GPTing this? Bro, I'm literally writing this on stream. I just typed it out. Yeah, no.
Nazis always get real upset when you call them Nazis. No, you know, and that's the thing is that so they don't want to be called Nazis, but you know, even the Nazis weren't called Nazis. You know, so it's you're dead naming them basically. And they're like, no, we have new names now, and like those guys, they just took it too far, but it's so awful, it's just so awful, but okay, but yeah, they get real upset, because you're dead naming them, it's you know, it's the same reason that I will always call it Twitter. You know, I will call it X when Elon Musk calls his daughter Vivian. It's, you know, yeah, you know, you want to do dead naming? We can do dead naming.
No, the real divisiveness is not saying that Zohran Mamdani is un-American. The real divisiveness is the guy who wants to denaturalize every fucking brown person, calling that person a Nazi. That's the real divisiveness. It's so funny. It's like all these guys love repeating Nazi propaganda, defending Nazis over and over again. And when you fucking call them Nazis, they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I can't believe you would say such a thing.
I am not really a part of the streaming community. You're probably never going to see me at another streaming event. I'm never probably going to do a collab event, stream again with another streamer. It's probably never going to happen again. I don't know. I don't like saying never say never, right? But like it's something I'm really never planning on doing again, collabing with, or having anything to do with these people ever. And it's not that I hate them. Some of them I do, but many of them that's not the case.
Yeah, no, everyone was like on their hands and knees being like, why won't Asmongold come and smell bad at our parties?
But too far. What about Clav? That's the thing. I'm saying this might sound bad. I'm talking about Twitch streamers specifically. I have no problem doing a collab stream with Kulinski. I have no problem with that. Same with like talking to like maybe Sneeko, right? Or like Nick, right? I've got no issue with that. But specifically Twitch streamers, I'm basically racist against Twitch streamers. And after my 10 years on Twitch and the 5 years recently, can you really fucking blame me? After how many of my friends have been canceled, crashed?
Yeah, bro, your friends have been canceled because they did sex offenses. Like what? Like they got canceled by the courts, dude. What are you talking about? They got canceled by the legal system. That's wild. Oh my God. Think about how many of my friends been canceled. Yeah, dude, because they did rapes. Like that's, you know, the f is wrong with you?
Canceled for that kind of thing.
Nobody's a Nazi since the 40s law. You are creating a Nazi narrative by calling people that guys. Just call them something that isn't hateful or that word. It's like the other N word. Come on, use your heads. If everyone here would understand that, then it'd be a more peaceful world. Like, guys, name calling is just lame as f. I love this chatter. This guy's fucking awesome. No one is a Nazi since the 40s. Yeah, totally. All the people that actually call themselves neo-Nazis, they're not even Nazis. Like, that's bullshit. And also, calling someone a Nazi is like calling someone the N-word. Another incredible take. Yeah, and then last but not least, he turns around and says, it's actually hateful. All right, thank you. Here's the attention you ordered, chatter. Eat this band, suck my dick. Yeah, bro said you can't be a Nazi unless you're from a specific region in 1930s Germany.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just sparkling fascist.
You know, from the Nazi Germany. Like we're talking about champagne or some shit.
Like, thank you for your genius input. And by the way, this is where so many people are going now. They're done with like the Ben Shapiro highfalutin fake intellectual bullshit, and they're just like, give me some unwashed idiot in his room giggling and agreeing with anything Trump does without researching any of it.
The fact is, what I'm saying is accurate. Still doesn't excuse the double tap. Only reason for that is to kill medical. Well, of course you should kill their medical.
Of course you should kill their medical. Doctors, nurses, paramedics, of course, they're fair game. Murder them. By the way, I'm sure he would feel like this if it was, you know, the elementary school of a family member that went there and they got murdered. I'm sure he'd say, well, that's fair game, right? I'm sure if it was...
You know, I think that... I mean, this guy's a video game streamer, so yeah. I mean, like, I only very recently got into video games. I was not a gamer, but I got into Elder Scrolls Online, I mean, like, you know, you do. Like, when there's a healer, and one of the enemies has a healer, you actually go for them first, you know, saying, like, when I got the healer today, stop healing the guy so I can kill him faster. But that's a video game. That's not real life. Okay. I'm gonna let this just continue playing and try to calm down.
The hospital by him, if it got bombed, well, that's fair game. We're at war, right? I'm sure he'd feel that way. I'm sure it's not just because it's the other that he feels like this, right?
Of course you should kill their medical. Like, if they're helping, of course you should kill their medics. Like, if you have these people that are helping these soldiers that are terrorizing you and fighting against you, you should, of course, shoot them.
Yeah, this guy doesn't know anything. Like, I'm willing to bet he thinks this because he's like, what do you mean? If you're doing a raid, you hit the healer. Like, he literally thinks you're supposed to like target the healers. He doesn't understand that that is a transparent war crime. Also, these healers were not even healing the soldiers. They were first responders trying to take out the little children from the rubble. Incredible work.
The whole point.
Yeah, it's wonderful that Twitch banned streamers for 30 days over a Sabra Hummus tier list created by their own staff at their own event, but advocating to murder medics, and not even in the field of combat, after like a military operation that blew up a school, killing 150 plus little schoolgirls, and then the first responders that arrived on scene. Justifying all that is totally valid. It's incredible stuff. Hasan, you precogged their defense. Asmongold understands the art of war. Pretty sure that's what you do in a real-time strategy game so that your enemy couldn't heal their units. Oh my god. Can I be honest? This Asmongold stuff is meaningless to me. It's obvious that his whole shtick at this point is just to say the most insane and unhinged shit and get this kind of attention from it. I don't even feel any sort of anger from him anymore because it's just dumbass being proudly dumb. What am I supposed to do about that? Waste my energy being mad every day? I mean, we get mad. We get mad at, you know, shit that is actually relevant. What here? He says you should not follow international law. It's this that pisses me off because there are a lot of dumb baby brain losers out there who will watch his commentary and reward him with the clicks that he desperately wants. That's what pisses me off more than anything else. The fact that there is a market for it, you know, the fact that there are so many people out there who are like, oh, hell yeah, base, dude. We should kill more medics. Straight up neo-Nazi, dude.
He is spiritually Israeli, right? He is spiritually Israeli with how he talks about this shit, isn't he?
You should, of course, shoot them. Duh. Ugh. Like, what are you talking about? That's a war... What? Yes, absolutely. That's a war crime? What do you mean? The medics? Yes, absolutely.
My God. My God. All right, and then here he goes. Trump is not enough of a warmonger. He's actually a pussy.
I said it last year. I think that Trump is such a pussy. I do. I think he is the biggest fucking bitch. It makes me... Like, we should be doing something like Maduro once a week.
We should be doing an illegal and offensive regime change where we bomb and kill grandmas like Rosa Gonzalez, rest in peace. And then we should steal their natural resources and put it in a private bank account in Qatar so Trump can get personally rich off of all of Venezuela's oil. That's what he wants to do every week.
Like, once a week, we need to be doing that. Like, we have this arm. We've paid.
I love how he's so cucked, he doesn't even realize that this does nothing for you. That this is literally only for the Epstein class. The disgusting pervert, rapist, pedophile Epstein class that somehow you think you're going to get good things off of? Are you insane? They're the enemy of humanity, and so are you.
$1 trillion a year for the army. You're telling us we can only do this like once every 4 years? Come on. Give me a break. And not radical enough? I know. He's a massive bitch. The reason why I don't like Trump isn't because he's extreme. It's because he's not extreme.
He needs to do more war. He needs to overthrow more countries. He needs to steal more natural resources. How are you not just a Nazi? Like, shouldn't you just say, I am a Nazi? Like, shouldn't you just admit that? Because that's what this shit is. That's what this...
I mean, he is, but it's, like, fun for him to play around with it. Also, I don't think any of this stuff, he even thinks twice about anything that he's saying. He is 100%, like, reveling in the idea that, like, people despise him. Like, he leans into it. It's vice signaling. It's a horrible way to live. And unironically, the only times where he actually feels the hurt, like, a lot of people get mad at me when I look at Asmongold videos, but it does matter when he goes viral. I know it matters to him when he goes viral. When he goes viral for this, like, evil shit that he's saying and normal people interact with him for the first time ever, because he gets away with, like, being in his own corner, being like a repulsive little freak in his own corner. But when it actually reaches to the other side, people are horrified by what he's saying, and they actually do start yelling at him, and it does hurt his feelings. 100%. It absolutely hurts his feelings because he still wants to, like, feel loved. It's not that he, like, triggers the libs and he's in it for the battle, or that this is, like, a serious ideological project for him. Yes, he absolutely does. You know for a fact that he does. He does have fucking feelings, and he cares about validation. So when people... That's fair. You only really cover him in depth when he goes viral. Appreciate you pointing out as someone who sometimes gets annoyed when you cover him, but I understood now. No, 100%. His right-wing grifting pivot, when it reaches across the aisle.
Yeah, I'm never going to do a thing with this guy. And again, because I just did this because I thought it would be funny to be Jenny Dreadful watching. Hasan Piker watching Kyle Kulinski watching Asmongold. But anyway, but yeah, this is the only time I'll give this guy any attention.
Actually hurts his sensitive feelings because he's doing all this for validation. He's doing all this for praise. He's doing all this for a sense of belonging. And when he's constantly inundated with people being like, "You're a fucking loser. What the hell are you saying?" He does get sad about it. And you can see it. When he experiences repercussions for his actions, he gets sad about it. He'll be like, "Oh, I'm so strong. I don't want to be around anybody. I hate everyone," or whatever, right? But in real life, it does actually hurt him. Same with like when he can't hang out with his friends. Oh, I can't be around other people. I'm never gonna go around and be around other people any longer because like everybody's abandoned me. Yeah, you did that to yourself.
3 points per decade in many countries throughout the 20th century.
I think there's a lot of reasons why that happens, and
Yeah, that's because
one of the reasons is a eugenic reason. Whenever you have dumb people that are really stupid, the probability is that they're not going to reproduce.
dude, I don't think that there's ever been a dumber thing that anyone has ever said in like the history of the world. The idea that dumb people aren't reproducing. This has to be Asmongold's dumbest take, right? Like we have to understand this. My man, dumb people are the only ones producing. They don't care if they have enough money to survive. I can't believe anybody listened to this and went, yeah, I think this guy's actually speaking facts.
Is that a lot of the dumbest people are going to get removed from the gene pool.
He's so fucking stupid. This has to be Asmongold's dumbest fucking moment in his entire life. That's the biggest indication that he doesn't go outside. Nobody would ever agree with this. Even like racist conservatives are saying, guys, we're taking in too many brown people from other countries that are dumb. They think they're dumb. I don't. Because white people aren't having enough babies and they just think all white people are smart. Asmongold isn't being consistent with any narrative ever. He's just saying something to say something. That's literally it. Please, for the love of fucking Christ, acknowledge this and understand this. Asmongold doesn't mean anything he says. Understand, like,
Papa God is right. That's my president right there. Even though he calls me apparently anti-Semitic all the time, he's right on this issue. Like he is trying to farm outrage. That's all he's doing. Asmon Dad was the last string of humanity had left. I for real think he's just having a public breakdown. This guy talks more shit about you than he does about Asmon. I don't care. He needs to be addressed and dissected. A spotlight is needed so much as the good people know of his disgusting worldview and how he's poisoning the internet waves. Yeah. Contrarian death worshiper craves self-isolation is probably for the best. He stays home. I mean, like I said, he's a disgusting little fucking freak and utterly repulsive. So that's it. Most normal people would be, Papa Gut is a leftist pipeline, bro. Yeah, I think he was... Perhaps he was a little bit too like up Ethan Klein's asshole initially. If he's like running around being like, I'm a anti-Semite. It is also kind of funny because like, where is the market for that now? It is pretty funny how much like the discourse changed over the last 2.5 years. Where like, yeah, sure. At first there was a lot of like people who were like, fuck you. How dare you say free Palestine? Then it was like, okay, free Palestine, but like, you know, Israel would never bomb a hospital. Then it was like, okay, oh my God, Israel bombed every hospital, free Palestine, but also Hamas is bad. But we're almost 3 years into it. And at this point, I'm sure there are still, you know, Japanese imperial soldiers still fighting the good fight 40 years after World War II ended, right? But like, there isn't really a lane for people who are still running around being like, Israel committed a genocide and the Palestinian people deserve freedom, but also the only group of people that are fighting for Palestinians in that emancipatory need are actually like evil, violent monsters. And if you actually defend them in any way, shape, or form, you're a bad guy, you're an anti-Semite. Like, it's gone. It's over. You know what I mean? Especially with like Israel doing this shit in Syria, in Lebanon, and now doing it in Iran. It's pretty obvious that, you know, this is a one-sided endeavor where Israel is always in the wrong.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
usually not an absolution. You know. But, you know, and I don't know enough about Hamas to, you know, because, yeah, I this is one of these things that I don't know enough about it to really comment on it, but all I'm saying is, you know, like I'm with Miss Rachel. Can we just stop killing kids? You know. I mean, stop killing people. You know, like why? So, all right. That's all I'm going to say about that. I just wanted to do this stupid little thing.